Long Island medium featured Caputo delivering readings at random locations like grocery stores and local restaurants. What was it like capturing those moments? Hello viewers, welcome to my channel. I hope you are well. If you liked the video, please subscribe and stay tuned for new videos. We call them spontaneous reads because we sent her out into the world and it really never fails. She turns around and all of a sudden, she starts reading the person behind the deli counter. It's challenging in that you're in an outdoor environment, so sometimes, you're in the middle of this intimate experience between Theresa and this other person, and also in the middle of a grocery store. We love those readings and we think that's one of the things that makes Theresa so unique, is that she's in the world and she'll just start reading. She doesn't turn it off. What we encountered was that you don't ever know when spirit is going to pop up. That legitimately was happening where we thought we were just doing something with her daughter, so that we can be back in the house because she had a reading planned, and all of a sudden, we find ourselves in a situation where we're just following this because how could you not? That became more of the norm of the show, but it wasn't how we expected that to go. We as producers really had to let Theresa guide us and experience it along with her. After a while, people knew that if they saw her, maybe they would get a reading. We would have crowds start to show up at places. There would be crowds and we would have to try and figure out how to deal with that, because she's this regular Long Island mom, but then she had this growing following. For the most part, Theresa really does a great job. She's very good at approaching people and talking to people in a real way. It's very, very rare that someone says, "I don't want to be a part of this. I don't want to do this." Part of her skill is that she can sense when something is a sensitive topic, so she's very respectful of that. She'll know if there's a suicide or something like that. She kind of pushes on one side to make sure that she's getting the helpful message through, but that she's not revealing something that someone doesn't want revealed. I think at the end of the day, all of her clients, even the spontaneous ones, they're happy about what they've received. Over the years, Caputo has faced skeptics, with some saying the readings that make TV are too general. Has been your experience as executive producers? Ostrom. What's amazing about her is that she is so specific, but it's also up to the person receiving it to help articulate what they're receiving for the viewer at home. Theresa can't do it all. I think those readings that are really good are the ones where people are able to kind of have a back and forth with her about their experience. Sometimes in the interviews that we do with the people who get a reading after the fact, they then say, "Oh, I didn't know if I should say this." They're afraid to step on the gift a little. Sometimes they have pictures of a certain person that they were talking about, and then we weave that in. For the audience, you want to make sure it all makes sense together. That's where it can get tricky, is to make sure we're still telling a complete story, even though it might sometimes feel like, oh, that could be general. But it's never general to the person that's receiving that gift. When people say to us, "Is she for real?" Listen, we can't explain it at all. But what I can definitely tell you is that I've seen her time and time again bring people to tears, including ourselves, and it's a life-changing experience for them. You can be a skeptic, but she can't be that good at guessing. It's an unbelievable gift. I think the other thing that happens to people sometimes is they get a reading, and then they go home. You go home, you tell your significant other what you went through, and they're like, "No, that butterfly means something." The Masked Singer to feature surprise guests Luan de Lesseps, Theresa Caputo on New York Night, exclusive. The Masked Singer will be full of guest appearances during New York Night on this week's episode. Real Housewives of New York City star Luan de Lesseps joins Nick Cannon on stage to give the judges clues about the Masked Singer. Theresa Caputo of Long Island Medium will also make a guest appearance. In the video above, Luan de Lesseps comes on stage with Nick Cannon rocking a sparkling blue dress. "We have a love thing going," Cannon joked. We do, Luan de Lesseps said. "I won't tell if you don't tell." Thick joined in on the fun and cracked. We always find out 9 months later, making a dig at Cannon, who's known for having several children with multiple women. Nevertheless, the jokes were all in fun. This is the last time the judges can use their save this week.